the reason why I originally found you on the internet was you had this thread, and you were talking about how at the age of 24, you had a very low testosterone level, and you were able to increase your testosterone as you got older. Help me understand, like, what is the average testosterone level of somebody in America, or like what should it be? And then like what's a low range and a high range, just so we can start to understand like how you move these numbers.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it in terms of total testosterone, since that's what most people know. It's not the best measure. I prefer a free testosterone measure, and we can get into that too. But for total testosterone, like I said, at 24, 25 years old, I was about 250 nanograms per deciliter. That's really low. That would be considered hypogonadism.
What is that?
Meaning your testicles are not working like they're supposed to. Like literally, you're not producing nearly as much testosterone as you should. The upper range that labs will put on testosterone would be 900 to 1,000.
Okay.
Which, when we're in our teenage years, boys, we're gonna have levels of around 1,000, 1,200, even 1,500 for a really high T kid.
Wow.
And I don't think physiologically there really should be an upper limit. I don't think if someone's at 1,000 and the range says 900, I don't think 1,000's bad at all. The average in America right now is going to be between 350 to 450 in most middle-aged men. Okay. That number should be double that. We should be in the 600-700 range.
Okay. And natural, we'll just talk about natural testosterone for the moment, so no TRT, none of that stuff, but natural testosterone levels, can you have too much, whether you're a kid or in middle age?
I don't think so. Some people, try to tie testosterone to aggressiveness and criminality, and it's never been really shown to be true. And so the things that testosterone does, let's go through that. It increases your sex drive. It increases your muscle mass, increases your bone mass, helps you look leaner and, makes your appearance better, gives you better energy, better focus. Like, how can we have too much of that? Like, everyone benefits from that, men and women. Everyone could benefit from a little more of all those things.
Yeah. So you went from 24 or 25 to kind of mid 30s, and you were able to more than double your testosterone level. And maybe we can kind of go through, like, what were you doing over that period of time to really kind of keep moving the testosterone level up?
Yeah, so last I checked my levels, I'm somewhere in the 630 to 650 range, somewhere there. And rule says as I'm getting older, it should be going down. So mine has gone up. I think the biggest key for me was I was in chiropractic school, and I was having a lot of focus issues, couldn't really function. I couldn't figure out why. I went to a friend of mine, and he's a big gluten guy. He's celiac. He thinks a lot of people have gluten issues. So he convinced me to go off gluten for 6 months. Now, I'm not saying the gluten was the problem. I was insulin resistant, and I didn't know. I had stopped working out nearly as much as I had, in my undergrad, partly because of a back injury. I blew out my back, herniated 2 discs, ended up walking with a cane for a year. And so I just was not active, was still eating the same junk that I'd been eating, pizza for dinner every night. We would go to Little Caesars and eat the entire $5 pizza by ourselves, And so inadvertently, what I've realized is as I took gluten out of my diet, it reduced my carb intake massively, because I wasn't really replacing it. And so my carb intake probably went from 300 grams a day to 75 or 80 grams a day, not quite to the ketogenic level, but getting in those ranges. And so by working on that insulin resistance, just by accident, everything got better. Everything in my life improved. My focus got better. My energy was better. My sex drive increased. And I was newly married at this time. We were trying to have kids, is why I started down this route of looking at my testosterone. And so for me, that was the biggest key. Now, I've added things since then where I work out more, I lift more weights. I've never been a big weightlift guy. I don't love it, but I do it now. I strength train now. At least I'm going to do 100 push-ups a day, at least build some of it, just work on that muscle. And then just cleaning up the diet in general. I eat way less sugar than I used to. This estrogenic chemical world, that's more new to me. I've really started going down that in the last 6 months or so of getting those things out of my diet. And I expect I'm going to see more improvement by doing that.
And then alcohol as well. I think you cut out alcohol, or did you bring it back, or what?
Well, no. So I actually, so I put that in the thread about, that thread was, I'm giving advice on what people can do. I don't drink. I never have. In my religion, we don't use alcohol. And so that wasn't something I cut out. But if someone wants to help their testosterone, they need to cut out alcohol, at least significantly reduce it. A lot of people are having a beer every day. And when we were taught if, man for have 1 to 2 drinks a day would technically in the medical world be considered alcoholic. And so what alcohol is going to do is really going to deplete your B vitamins if you're drinking too much of it. B vitamins are very needed for healthy testosterone levels. They help suppress certain things, keep them down so that our body can make more testosterone. So yeah, cutting out alcohol is a great idea if you want to boost your T.
And then what about the relationship to weight, right? Because I saw that you had said, like, if you lose weight, your testosterone levels naturally go up. And this goes back to some of the insulin conversation we started with. Yeah,
it goes back to insulin a bit, but also just the fat cells themselves can be a problem for testosterone. So in men and women too, where that testosterone to estrogen occurs, part of that is in the fat cells themselves. This is called aromatization. So literally the fat cells, which have receptors for testosterone. Testosterone gets to the fat cell, and the fat cell says, I'm going to turn you to estrogen. And then testosterone levels start to decline because literally it's just being converted. And so reducing your body weight, even 20 pounds can make a significant difference on your testosterone level because you won't get that conversion happening nearly as much.
Really?
Yeah.
20 pounds could be a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, because most people are in the 30 to 40, 50 pound range. And so, of overweight, someone's morbidly obese is a different conversation, but yeah, if you're 40 pounds overweight and you lose 20 pounds, you're going to make a big difference for your energy, for your insulin resistance, but also to your testosterone levels.